Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. Thank you so very much for joining me. Happy Valentine's Day to those of you who celebrate it. I don't know, do we really celebrate it? I guess we do. But anyway, happy Valentine's Day. I hope everyone is warm and has power. We'll talk about that later. I want to show you what I did last weekend. I had so many topics for you today. We're just going to start sequentially because I think that works better for me. So last weekend, I had some time on Sunday, and what I did was awesome. I went around my own room and I worked through those piles of things, the little bits that I thought were sorted, and still found some winter stuff and put that away. And I went through those little containers like this, except this is actually the after. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, isn't it? It's newer stuff. It should look familiar to you. I dug into them and really figured out what I was doing. Quite a while ago, I started fussy cutting these butterflies. What happened was it really gave me hours of UFO time. Unfinished objects. I just went around my room. So I made a card for a friend who I know doesn't watch my channel, so we're perfectly safe. I've stamped the back and I used my Clear Star pen. Here we go. So Jelly Roll Clear Star. It's sort of like adding Wink of Stella or one of those other products, but it's a roller tip. So I added that throughout, and then I had these butterflies. Just a fun little card, layered it up. Honestly, I don't love that really dark blue, but I had it all glued down. It's the back of the paper, so it was meant to work together in the collection, but I felt like even for me, it was a little too much contrast, which is shocking. And I just stamped around the edge to give some interest with some purple ink. And again, not quite the same color. She won't care. Then I had this ink blending piece and a piece of the teal stuff that came in Happy Mail that I wanted to test out. And so I used my new die, probably because it was on the counter, and cut thank you and put it on here. Then I spilled some Wink of Stella on it, or one of those products, and it kind of went from there. I think it was actually the Nouveau glitter gloss, and put a butterfly. So that's going to become something. And then I was just working on the counter in UFOs, and I started going through baskets like this, tubs of mixed media. What was my plan? This is now, those of you who do mixed media, you might see it's sort of sorted. So I have red, I have some paint smush stuff. I made these a while ago. Maybe I did them in a video for you. Set them aside to dry and buried them. This is a cool thing with crayons, I think, that Andrea made me. So these are things waiting to be die cut. This, I don't know what its plan is. Stamps that I saved, Christmas stamps. Okay, so more stuff to put away. So I went through and sorted this. Jelly Roll, and here's stuff for covers. When I was in there, I found this luscious piece of purple canvas. So what happened was my friend Andrea did a paint pour, and then when she started paint pouring, she ended up with so many canvases that she started taking them off the canvases and doing different projects, and she wanted to put them in a book, kind of like an art journal instead of so much wall art. We just ran out of them, and maybe some of them weren't her favorite ones, so she did various things with them. I ended up with a strip, and it was, not the size of this journal was based on the size of this canvas. I don't think I trimmed a single bit off of this canvas. I don't think I did. So I just laid it down on the counter and measured how big of a journal could I make. And then I cut chipboard. Hear it? Super sturdy. It was from packaging. I didn't buy it. Trash to treasure here. And folded it around. And I used a combination of these two glues because I'm trying to use up the beacons, but it got too thick and it wouldn't come out, and the Fabri-Tac. And what I will find is when I mix this kind of glue with Andrea's mixed media projects, sometimes they get soggy. Like it's hard on the paints. So I might need to think about different ideas for that. So at one point, the purple kind of started to stick to me. It got a little messy, but I worked through it with some wax paper and then just let it dry. Now I'm ready. I can get little pieces of paper and make something. And what I was kind of envisioning, if you're not a journal maker, is like a cute little junk journal. like Emily made with this one. And I had to glue a little flower in there. It was having some trouble, so I just covered it up with Barely Art and held it together. And I got it out, and I'm going to start using this one. But I was thinking this concept, essentially, like something cute, junky, and adorable. That's where I'm headed with that. We'll see how that works. It might be just a UFO further down, but now at least I have a plan. It's not just a piece of canvas in my room. And I just love how it turned out. When Andrea saw it, she was like, how did that get away to your room? But I think what happened was she cut off a big section, and then she was like, and she gave me the little part. If she loves it, she can have dibs since it was her cover. We have coffee. I hope that you have power and hot coffee and you're not just watching this on your phone, because I know many of us in the U.S. are having some troubles. Okay, we have some happy mail this week. I wanted to show you Eileen, when she sent me happy mail, she wrote this on the back of the envelope, and I thought it was precious, and I forgot to show it to you. She probably glued the ends down. She must have, because it seems like they stayed pretty well. So don't forget to do that so you don't cause problems for the postal service. But I just thought that was adorable. I'm going to open Happy Mail and ramble as I've been known to do. Let's have some more coffee. Okay, this first one is from Hillary, who is Tort and Tabby. I talked about her a long time ago. She's on Instagram with us, and now she's making videos on YouTube. I'm going to link to her channel down below. She's making gorgeous, what do I call them? Technique cards like this. This one she made with me in mind. So this is like a stained glass fun technique. She's got on the front, it's harder to see in the video. So be sure to check out her channel. You will get really great inspirational ideas. And I know some of you feel like you would like me to slow down and explain things sometimes. And A, you can always tell me, but also B, I'm probably going to refer you to people like Hillary who are super organized and make amazing detailed videos. My goal is not to remake things that other people have made just so that I can get the biggest channel or the ad revenue off of it. No, I want you to have the best videos and for us all to have fun. Super cool. I love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Hillary. And it says, you inspire me. And then you need to see the back. Tort and Tabby. And they make appearances in her videos. Hillary is one of my local friends. So she's someone that I could, in a normal world, actually go to events with. I sucked her into this too. It's fun. Okay, this is from Teresa, and Teresa changed her channel name, so don't be confused, still find her. She's Fresh and Renewed with Teresa. I'll link to her down below too. She was Scrapping for Less, so if you're wondering where she went, when we change channel names, you stay subscribed, but it moves it around, so you might be confused. And I have no idea what she's up to here. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's a super cute Valentine. It says, you bake me happy. Oh my gosh, I love this. And little sprinkles on this heart cookie. Really fun. Love those patterns. She was just happy mail surprising me. That's what she was up to. She had a plan. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. In her card, she told me these can be foiled with a laminator. So I'm going to talk to my friend Noni next door, I think. So they're Gina K Foil Mates, Stars and Stripes. Oh my gosh. Oops. One of the stickers got away. That's what's going on. We'll fix that up. Oh my gosh. These are going to be amazing. I don't have a laminator. Lots of stuff. I like it, but you know that I love to talk to you about not buying things that you won't use on a regular basis or that only do one thing. And you know me, I am so messy. I just don't have room for everything. I'm not going to be one of those people who's super organized and puts everything away perfectly. So then I won't be able to find it. I spent, I'm not kidding you, half an hour looking for Copics this week because my sister gave me a bag of Copics. I finally found them in my packing materials tub. They had somehow sunk down. In the end, I didn't have the right colors anyway. It was a hot mess, but just that's part of why I'm just so messy. I have been thinking about a printer though. So thank you so much, Teresa. I know that Noni will fix me up with those. Look at these. Oh my gosh. The blue people are jealous. I wonder if I can work these into my Joy of Blue. My brain is going. I think I can. I think I'm going to set these aside. Crafter's Pack, double-sided foiled paper. This is like a treasure chest of fun stuff, Teresa. So Teresa is sort of at a retirement crossroads in her life and really getting to enjoy things now. And I hope that all of you are thinking about what you want. There's a phrase, it came from a book. It was actually decluttering. And I'm not going to get his name right, but one of you might remember. He's a British guy. I think his name starts with a P. Paul, Phil. I don't have it. The phrase is, imagine the life you want to live. And I think the point of it is, if you don't stop and think about what you really want, you certainly won't get it. And he was trying to get you to declutter your home and think about it. I've used it a lot for my craft room, my yard, my life, my pets, everything. Look at this. Are you with me? I know. I'm not a do one thing at a time kind of person. So admire this and hold that thought. Look at this, Teresa. This is awesome. Like, this is the kind of paper that I would buy if I bumped into it, regardless of the fact that my specialty paper bin is full. Whew. Okay, super fun. This is also kind of fun because I might have some capacity in my day to play with this stuff. You know, it's still really early. You guys are going to see this video late, though, because I'm talking too long. Anyway, imagine the life you want to live, and you kind of think about it. And I think that's what Teresa's doing, is she had decided that her business, she wanted to move on and do other things and make time in her life for other stuff. And so that's what you do. Okay, these are adorable cut-aparts. Bill and Betty, a lovely couple, and you layer them up. So they're going to be three-dimensional cut-apart layers. Super fun. These kind of remind me of the art impressions people. Don't you think? I think they'd be fun with some of their stamps for sure. And then she sent me some 3D foam. This is kind of a cool one. It's nice and thin. And it's really nice to have different layers of foam. And if you have a super thin one, you can always make it thicker because you can layer up a bunch of them. So if you have a 1 millimeter, you could have flowers on your card where some you've used 3 pieces, some 2, some 1. Really cool. Oh, look at these gold ones too. Thank you so much, Teresa. This is really just a fun day waiting to happen, isn't it? I really appreciate it. Thank you so very, very much. And again, you guys never have to send me a thing. You know that I am not sitting here thinking, oh, I just don't have anything to play with. Nothing to do here. Okay, we're going to have to think about these. Whew. That's probably too much for you. Okay, I was going to let you admire them, but it's too much. So I'm going to put this card back. Last week we talked about die cutting and dryer sheets, and I finally discovered what a lot of you knew. You can take a difficult die and like prime it with a dryer sheet, which is supposed to make it easier to cut. I didn't actually try that, but you can also put die, paper, dryer sheet under it, run it through. The little bits, and I haven't tested it with this one, stick to the dryer sheets, which makes it so you can peel off the part of the die that you want. Several of you commented, and I always appreciate it, just tell me if I'm not being smart, to get a metal shim. So I ordered one, and then I thought I would test it out, make a video where I have done a little more work so that you get the best information. It was supposed to come Thursday. Something happened. I don't know if it's ever coming. In like a week or two when I get that, then we can get back to die cutting. The other thing that came into my craft room is I needed refill pages for my mom's 8x8 book where I make the pages of her quilts. I make scrapbook pages for each of the quilts. There are videos on my channel. You can check those out. Last time I had a hard time, and I think what I did was I went on eBay and I found an 8x8 book that I liked, because over time 8x8 is less popular. I do think Lawn Fawn is making them, and I was standing next to one, but I didn't think to buy it. my mom said, we don't need another book, we just need refills. So what I did was I went on eBay and paid too much for one of these books that's the same as the one she has. And what that will do is it will help me. I'm trying to see. I think this is a 2 poster and some would be 3. So if I don't get the same brand, there's no way that they would fit. This said taupe online. Don't love this color. Okay, I guess it's taupe, but wow, it is brown, isn't it? I mean, look, compared to like a woodblock stamp, it's dark. Maybe I will use this in her book, The Refills, and then maybe I can finish out her 100 quilts, because we're in the 70s, with a Lawn Fawn book. 8x8, we started with Mrs. Grossman's books. They were beautiful, and then, well, you know how that went. And then the seller put this in too. I had one of these years ago that someone gifted me that I treasure. This is an interesting color for me. So that also came in. This is what I did last weekend. Then during the week, I really wanted to get back to that vibe or like that mental flow where I was just coming in here, digging through things and cleaning up. I just couldn't get there. It was a hard week and I was tired after work. So I didn't work on that. Then the storm hit, and it did. And I want to talk a little bit about that, honestly. If you're new to my channel and you don't want to hear about my feelings, I don't know, maybe you should go now and have a great weekend. One of you chatted with me on Instagram and just said that you weren't crafting and you weren't feeling great. And at that moment, I was still doing pretty well. And I hope that I was supportive and gave an idea for inspiration for this weekend. But then 24 hours later, I found myself in that same spot. And let me tell you what happened. Friday, about 5 minutes to 5, I got done with work and I told my peers, okay, I'm going to go. And they laughed because I only made it out 5 minutes early. But then I tidied up the kitchen, made myself a nice hot dinner, which I never cook. I mean, I got out a pan. It was crazy. Then did a few things around the house and I was playing Dr. Mario. And I think I had music going, and 8:30 the power went out. So 8:30 on a Friday night when I was thinking, should I go in my craft room and do some stuff? No, I'm going to play a little video games first. And then my power went out. So I kind of hunkered down, closed some things up, got situated. Fortunately, the heat was going at the time, but it was below freezing here. We were in the middle of an ice storm. Then I decided, okay, I'm going to bed. And oh my, count your blessings, I had turned my electric blanket on for the tiny cat. So it was on low. I would have put it on medium for me, but I was so grateful. So I got like 4 quilts, piled them on my bed and went in. And I just hadn't really been thinking. I wasn't being smart. I wasn't watching the weather forecast. I didn't have my bedroom as warm as I should have. And so I was a little frustrated with myself. I did have flashlights and I was fine. I was just annoyed. Well, when I got up at 11:30, it wasn't on. When I got up at 3:30 to this weird ice flow situation occurring off my roof and onto my deck, and it was so loud and scary, Wilson wouldn't go out. So we just watched it from inside and thought, this can't be good. Then we went back to bed and I'm laying there at 3:45 and it hits me. I can't make coffee. So I'm laying there thinking, I'm wide awake. I could get up and start crafting and start this day. I have lamps. And I thought, I can't make coffee. And somehow that just destroyed me. And I have Starbucks instant coffee, which I don't really like, and a gas hot water heater. So I was able to make lukewarm coffee. And then later, Noni saved the day and with her generator made coffee. So that did help. But somehow the fact that I couldn't first thing in the morning have my coffee, it just, I don't know. That and it was cold. I wore gloves in my house and was dressed like I was going to an outdoor sporting event all day. In the evening, when my husband was just about to have a generator delivered to me, through a miracle, it came on. I was literally getting extension cords and finding the electric heater, and I went out to the shop and I came back and I was like, oh my gosh. It came on just a smidge before dark, and I think that made all the difference in the world, and my attitude has changed. But my point is, I wish I could have changed my own attitude in that day, right? Because I pretty much wasted yesterday dealing with ice, watching it melt, bundling up, sitting around with blankets. I could have been coloring. I could have been fussy cutting. There was good daylight. Finally, I just said, well, I'm just going to let myself wallow in this. And I think for a certain amount of time, that's okay. But be sure you don't sit there for like a week. I think every once in a while, one day where you just say, screw it. I'm going to sit on the couch with blankets on and be bundled up and not do a thing. So I had gloves on. I literally took a pair of scissors and cut the tips off of these so I could use my phone. But here's a funny thing. Remember that reclining sofa that we had delivered in the fall? Well, it's power. So when there's no power, you don't get to recline. So that was a funny thing. All of those little things that you take for granted in your day. I do not have to pull weeds today. Let me just say, I get a pass on that. We still have ice. I'm a little bummed about how my yard looks. I'll show you actually. So I think this is part of why I was a little bummed yesterday. So that tree yesterday was shorter than the pergola, and it should be much, much taller. If you've seen videos or Instagram of my yard, I don't know if those trees are coming back from that. And right here to the right of this big tree, there's, I think it's called a star jasmine. I can never remember the name. It's one of my favorite plants in my yard, and I have another one on the other side. That tree laid on it yesterday. So those two branches straight above it, I went out with a broom and shook them and did what I could to get the ice to get them up off, but that tree laid on it. I know there's sections of it broken off. Overall, I mean, things held up. The bus stop and the pergola are still upright. Mr. Crafting and Relaxing's construction skills are pretty good, but there's just definite plant damage. I mean, look at this mess right here. I don't know if you can tell, but this is supposed to be upright. I did come out and take a broom and shake it off because it was laying on the heater, and that wasn't going to work for me. It's kind of a bummer. We'll just have to see, but I guess I should be grateful I have my house. You can hear chainsaws in the background, huh? I am getting tired of the lessons I am learning about gratefulness in 2020 and 2021. I am getting tired of it. It's just getting old. I learned to appreciate fresh air. This weekend, I very much learned to appreciate electricity. We've had outages, but I've never had nearly 24 hours. I mean, I was right at, I think, 20 hours. Isn't my boy cute? He was so concerned last night, look, I'll back you up, that he hasn't done a perimeter check because ice was falling off of those trees last night, the big ones, and it was scary sounding. And there's still ice up there, but I just don't think that back corner of our yard was safe at all. So he hasn't been checking the perimeter. I don't even know if the fence is standing. He probably wouldn't notice. It's cold. Let's go back inside. I need to wrap up because otherwise you're never going to see this. It's going to be late as it is. I hope that you are finding joy and trying to maintain a positive attitude. But if you slip a little, just be good to yourself and say, okay, I'm going to be crabby this afternoon. I'm just going to sit right here and eat Reese's peanut butter hearts and pout because my Valentine can't make it home and my beautiful yard is getting destroyed and I can't even recline in my couch. Just don't do it for a long time. At some point, you've got to get up, find some paper, some scissors, and some glue, and have some fun. I wanted to talk to you about goals and a giveaway too, but I just think we're running too long. So I'll catch you next time on that. I'm going to keep working on a class that I started last weekend that I thought it was going to be like an amazing day of Sunday crafting, like a workshop online. Well, partway through it, it was like, take this stuff and soak it for 24 hours, and then you'll need to let it dry. I was a little bummed about the format of that class. I didn't love that. And so that's how I ended up with time for these other projects, is because I was frustrated and that fell apart. I had set aside the day and was super excited to do something with it. And I didn't realize that there was going to be 24-hour dry time. And then last night, I was trying to watch the end of that class because I thought I'd wrap it up today. And the same thing happened at another place. It's another wet media. It's not turning out like I thought, but eventually I'll get it done. And I'll share that project with you. If you have goals in your life or crafty goals or whatever they are, be sure you're looking at them even when you're discouraged, because they do help you. I am going to make a giant crafty mess and enjoy every single moment that I have power. In fact, I'm going to start, I think, by microwaving this coffee. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're taking time for crafting and relaxing. Bye-bye.